Welcome to It's a Woman's World, a show which discusses any and all topics under the sun from a woman's point of view. Our show believes that all women at all times and in all places should be treated with respect. Here's today's moderator, Rashida Fisher.
Hello and welcome to It's a Woman's World. My name is Rashida Fisher. We have a delightful show planned for you today. I will start introducing our other guests and our hosts. I'll start with my left, Jamela.
Yes, I am Jamela Pettiford. What an honor to be here. Thank you, Rashida.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
I'm Ty Goodwin, and I am so excited to be here today.
Hi, Ty.
Hi.
And I'm Nadia Giordana, and I'm just as happy as I can be to be here today.
Well, welcome. We are happy to have you. And our special guest today is Candy Pettiford. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
She is an actress, a singer, an author, a playwright.
Don't forget about a little drama.
And drama.
Yes, some
and
drama.
that is why we have coined her the Renaissance Woman.
Thank you. Renaissance, I like
Yes.
that. All right.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
So let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit about your career and why you've decided the arts.
Do we have that much time?
We have a little bit of
We
time.
have a little time. Okay, good. Basically, I love to act. I love to sing. I write my own shows. As of now, I have 14 one-woman shows. Glory Line, African American History, Women of the Bible, Glad Hatter, women talking about women of the future, the past. And I write children's books. And I take my children's books and I go to schools and talk about the different things, the different subjects, what's no bullying, turn off the screens, no smoking. And so a lot of things I do. And also, I like to sew. What I have on is one of my designs.
An original.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's an original. It's
Wonderful.
called a slat and doobie. Slat and doobie because sleeves,
Oh,
hat.
I see it now.
Yes.
sleeves, hat, slat. My husband says, don't tell them that. They'll all be trying to create, but that's okay. That's okay. Let them do it, you know.
They
But
won't do
yeah,
it better than you.
There you go. Because, I mean.
Not as
it's-
easy as you'd think.
No, it is not as easy. You're right. You're very right. So that's just a little bit in a nutshell of what I do. Yeah.
Excellent.
And keeping busy. And I've got a new book coming out called What Do You Do While You Wait? Whether it's at the hospital, at the airport, getting your car fixed, waiting to get married, have a baby. What do you do while you wait?
So is that something that you can do in the downtime when you might ordinarily be thumbing through your cell phone? Is this a
Thank you.
healthy replacement for that?
And it's a healthy replacement for TVs and movies. Now, if you want to just zone out and just like do nothing, get the TVs and the movies. But if you want to be creative, like I was at the airport yesterday. I'm writing notes and I'm writing thank you cards and whatever. So, yeah, it takes a place of I'm going to text somebody or I'm going to be on the phone. Put the phone down and do something other than that. Or TVs and movies. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
How often per, let's say in any given week or month, do you perform?
Oh, wow. It can vary. I am on contract once a month to go into nursing homes. And you know what? A lot of these people have been forgotten. They've been forgotten because they're senior citizens and, you know, not saying that their children just packed them and put them away, but a lot of them have been forgotten. And so I go in and I do the shows and they love it. And I have a show called Elder Speaks, Things We Remember. Things we remember, like, they don't, you know, you guys don't know anything about, well, maybe you do, cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah. Cassette tape.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Okay, good. Because some of the young people, cassette tapes, VCR, you know, all those kind of things. And people are like, really? You know, crank cars, all these kinds of things. So there's things that the elders remember, and they really want to talk about it. You know, so yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious, because you've got so many things that you do.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have a lot of ideas, but they never actually do that. So how have you managed to actually take all of your ideas and actually make them into reality?
You know, you need to motivate yourself. That's a good question, because my daughter, who's sitting down there, was 5 years old when rheumatoid arthritis came into my life. And it really, at one point, it just stopped me from doing things. But I prayed and I said, Lord, I need help. I want to keep doing things. And so I started laying in the bed and writing. As a matter of fact, there's one book here, All the Things You Can Do When You Don't Watch TV, is, can you help me get that out?
Yeah.
And so,
Is it this
yeah,
one?
it's that one. And so, you know, this book here, it started when I was laying in the bed. And I wrote it years ago. I've had rheumatoid arthritis for 35 years.
Wow.
And so I was laying in the bed, and I was like, boy, what can kids do besides watching TV? And I started writing. And so a lot of these things came from me laying up in the bed, being bedridden, but I'm like, but I don't want to stay here now. But to be a good writer, you do have to sit still.
Well, you
You do.
listened to the inspiration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you do have to sit still, because anybody who's going to be a writer, you can't be flitting here, flitting there, flitting. You have to sit still and to write. So, and I think you have to be self-motivated, Ty.
Well,
You
and
have to be self-motivated.
creative expression is so healing in and of
is.
itself. Whichever form it takes, yeah, it can be very healing.
Yes, it is very healing. And so if you need to be healed in a certain area, think about something that you want to do. You know, okay, I want to design clothes, or I want to do voiceovers. Whatever it is, it can be very healing.
Yeah.
And then as you're waiting, what do you do while you wait for your healing? What I was doing while I wait, I was writing. I was being creative. And then I found when I was being creative, I was out of myself. I was away from this body that was in pain.
Yes.
And I was writing, and I was somewhere else because I was writing or I was sewing. So, yeah.
So how do you feel, you know, because one of your plays, one of your mantras is, behind every good woman is the woman who comes before you. So how has your mother
Wow.
been instrumental
Wow.
in the creation and the building up of your gifting and your creativity, and really giving you the chance to kind of enhance that as a young person? How can you talk a little bit about?
Well, I'm number 9 of 13 children.
Wow.
And my mother, thank God for her, because she knew each child individually. She knew that I needed to tear up stuff. You know, and it's a good thing that a mother can look and see, okay, this child needs this child needs that. And she knew. I'm like, Mom, can I tear up my clothes? And yeah, because I didn't want to look like the sister before her. I don't want to look like the sister before her, because it was like, oh no, I don't want to look like them. So I started asking, can I be creative? And my mother was a writer. So, and she was one who started the, don't say no to me. If you were standing up on stage, I asked you to sing a song, sing a song. If I asked you to recite something, recite something. Recite a poem, have something ready, because I will not accept no. And so we were not allowed to say no when we were on stage. Be spontaneous, be ready to go, be ready to move. And so I think my mother is quite an inspiration in my life. My dad was too, but my mom was really, she was hands-on. She was always there. My dad was a Pullman porter for the railroad, so he was gone, but my mother was always there. And she played the piano, and she had us all sing. And there's some that still sing, but not as many sing as we all had to when we were younger. But my mother, the woman that came before me, powerful.
So
powerful.
Really quickly, just part 2 of the question. What do you suggest for mothers who notice that their children have a special gifting, have
Yes.
a talent and ability, and yet the child doesn't want to necessarily invest in it, and yet the parent is like, look, this is something that could in turn bless you in the end of your life?
Get on board and be their greatest fan.
And almost encourage them without pushing them.
Thank you.
That's tricky.
That is tricky, because, you know, I remember there was a time where I took my daughters dancing, and we just stopped dancing, and my husband said, you know, you don't take them dancing and then you just have them stop dancing. You have them, we're going to continue. I said, well, this wasn't their area. Let's find another area. So my one daughter's an more acting area, and my other daughter's more the singing, whatever, and then singing and acting. So I think if you see that, nurture that, pull that out, bring that out, because children really need you to be their greatest fan. You know, you see something, speak to it. Oh, I see you. You kind of like to do some artwork. You like to draw. Well, draw me a, you know, encourage them.
Yes.
Be their greatest fan.
That's
yeah.
wonderful.
Oh, absolutely.
Very nice.
You also, you know, you spoke of having rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
And living with that, and that oftentimes, or in the beginning, kind of compromised your ability to be creative. How have you overcome that to still be the creative being that's within you?
Well, let me tell you, it took a lot of prayer because RA is for people who don't know, it's a really debilitating disease. It comes and takes your joints. As I say to the little kids when I talk to the little children, I go, it's like you're eating a hamburger and you're eating it while it's, you know, I'm still alive, and they go, ooh, because I saw a little kid yesterday and he goes, oh, he says, oh, your hands. He said, oh, they're creepy. He said, oh, but they're hands. You know, I'm noticing now my hands draw them in. Before they weren't paying, but now they're really watching me. I'll just do things with my hands. They're really watching everything I'm doing.
Of course, they'll have questions too. That's going to draw questions out of them.
And they do ask, can I ask what happened to your hands? And I said to them yesterday, I said, you know, I said, after the show's over, I will definitely talk to you about all that, you know. But it has tried to, I would tell anybody who has any disability, really try to go past that. That there is a point that you can do whatever you can do. I would suggest anybody who has a disability, be creative, because you can leave that area of pain and be creative. And you look back and you go, I did this. Wow. Like I say, oh wow, I made this. I sewed this.
Yes.
You know, I did this.
Yes.
So it's quite an accomplishment. And when people look at my hands, they go, you did that? Like, yeah. With your hands? With the sewing machine? No. With my hands. No sewing machine. With my hands. So, yeah.
You hand stitch?
I hand stitch.
Wow. How
Because you know what? I'm sitting there with my husband and television bores me. So if it bores me, if I'm sewing, I'm feeling like I'm not wasting time. Do you ever feel like sometimes, I hate to say it, that when we watch TV that you're wasting time?
Oh, yeah.
But if I'm sewing and I look up, oh, look at this, I made a hat. I have not wasted time.
Yes.
And you can do that and still follow the thread of the program.
Absolutely.
As not much as you want to.
Right, right. Oh, absolutely. But sometimes it just bores me, and you know. And if I'm not sewing, this is the way I am. I'm out.
Well, it's just really encouraging to know that you have been able to really push through and not let your disability get the best of you. That you have found other ways to work around the limitation that's caused by your arthritis.
Well, you know the thing, and just what you just said, your arthritis. My doctor will say, he says, you know, your arthritis. I'm like,
it's not mine.
Yes, it's not my arthritis. I'm like, you know, he goes, and then he goes, the arthritis. And I'm like, yes, doctor, yes, because
that is so important.
Yeah, you know, because people who have cancer, they want to say, oh, my cancer. Well, if it's yours, do you want to get rid of it? Yeah, I do. Well, then don't call it yours. I'd like it to go.
Yes.
You know, if you did have cancer, oh, my cancer and my, no, the cancer. You know, so absolutely.
I really like that.
I really like that,
I'm picking up on something else too. You know, you talked about the disability, but just like when we were talking about the kids, you found what you were able to do.
Right.
And even when taking a look at our kids, it's finding out what they're able to do and encouraging that. So that's a running theme.
That is a running theme. Yeah. You know, and every one of us can see that in a child. Your children or children that if you work in the school system, you say, oh, you like to do that, don't you? You know, pull on that.
Speak to it.
Yeah, speak to it and bring it out. Pull on that. So absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a theme.
So Candy, it is about time for us to wrap things up. And so what last thoughts would you share with our viewers?
Okay, you know, do everything you can do because you only have one life. Just do all those things that you want to do. People call it a bucket list. I don't call it a bucket list. I call it a live list. A list that I want to do while I'm alive and do all these things and then just look back and then say, when the time it is for me to go, I can go, I've done all those things.
Yes.
You know, so do everything you can do while you can do it. That's what I would say.
That is such a wonderful message. And if you are interested in learning how to produce a community radio or television show, we have a segment coming up that is especially for that. Another way to share your gifts and your talents with the community.
That's right.
Hello, I'm Beverly Crosby,
And I'm Nadia Giordana.
and we're here today to give you some tips on how to start your own community cable television program. Let's just start. Nadia, what's your background? How did you get involved in television work?
You know, I was in sales and marketing all my life, and then when I became semi-retired, I got into some more creative things, and I was a guest on It's a Woman's World at a couple of years back, and I was so much more interested in what was going on behind the cameras, behind the scenes, and how the show was put together. It wasn't long before I worked a way to hang out around the shows and become part of the crew.
Well, it's truly fun to be around television, I must admit. I started probably about 15 years ago, over 15 years ago. I was in the photographic profession for many years and had my business, and the difference, of course, between photography and video is that one's still and one's moving. So I talked to somebody one day, and they said, you should be a producer, you should go into television. And from there, I went into Channel 6, talked to Gay Jacobson at the time. She referred me to SPNM. And then I was very blessed to understudy with Steve Brunsberg, who has been a producer for many years, and and then took some more courses, one thing another, and here I am yet today, and loving it, loving every bit of it. So I'm thinking that maybe we should talk to the audience about what can creating a television show, what can that do for them? Not the audience, but just them as a host or as a producer.
You know, and from my standpoint, it's such a creative outlet for me, and I think a lot of people don't realize that public access to television is still out there. People tend to forget that it even exists anymore, and that they can actually, with either a modest membership or just by belonging to the community. Sometimes there are no memberships at all. It varies between community to community. But you can be part of that and plan a program, take their classes, and the classes are not that hard. You know, I went through several different of their classes, from editing to camera operation, and ended up working on some shows and even making some of my own. I absolutely love it. How did you get around just getting started?
Well, again, I understudied with Steve Brunsberg, and that was, really, he was just one of the best in the business. And so I was very blessed to go along on a lot of shoots and learning, and he put me on the editing board right away. And then I took many courses outside of the television channels on lighting and intense lighting. Of course, a lot of that comes with working with photography as well. So I did a lot of on-location shoots, in-studio shoots, a lot of editing. So I've been a producer and a director and editor. But I really enjoy telling the story. That's the most fun, I think, because I think what community television gives you is a voice. And it's great to have guests come on and hear their stories and how they've achieved what it is they put their hearts to do. So I really enjoy that part of it. The other thing is, what does it do for the audience? I guess that's my other thing I think that our audience would like to know probably is what does it do for an audience? So I know Channel 6 and all the other community channels in our area, it could be entertaining, it could be entertainment, it could be educational, it could be informational.
It's a different kind of programming, and even before I got involved with any of the studios, I am one of those people who, when I'm flipping the channels, I did stop and watch the amateur programs that were out there. And sometimes there were surprises, sometimes not. It's a little different way of producing programs. Fascinating, and I would always sit and watch a program on and off every couple days and flipping through, and I still enjoy that today. Now I get pointers from them.
Yeah. So let's take it a step further. If somebody is interested in creating their own program, what are some, let's help them, give some bullet points on how to get started.
You know, the number one thing they can do is begin, even before they take classes, is go down to a studio, volunteer. Volunteer on some of the programs that are already going on. They're always in need of extra help. Now, you might need to go through a class to operate the camera, but there's probably some things you can do even before you do that to volunteer